Hello,
Hello,
hello. Hi,
hello.
everyone. This is Dave and Roxanne.
We are excited. We are live. Every time we do a go live like this, we always um, phrase it in a question or a statement. Today, we're excited because we're going to talk about online business. Some of the things that's really important for your business if you're watching us, if you're considering to start online business, especially if you're already in the community. So, if this is the first time you're tuning in, let us know where you're tuning in from.
Yes, we always love to know how global we are in this community. So, we are currently in our home, which is we live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
So today the statement is
Why online business owners stay stuck even with good training?
this is important, and if you're watching this on a replay or maybe live, and you find this valuable, especially when we start talking about the points, share this to someone, maybe in your team or maybe someone that is going through this challenge. So why online business stays stuck even when there's good training? We've been in this online platform for over 7 years now.
Yes.
We've seen people do extremely amazing here. We see people a lot of potential. On the flip side, going through extremely good training, it's a proven training that allowed us, Roxanne and I, we were both in our corporate jobs. I was a general manager. Roxanne used to work for the government, that allowed us to both quit our jobs and became full time.
Mhm.
So it's a proven system. It's a proven training. Yet a lot of people that use the same training, great potential, stay stuck. So why? The question is why, and we're gonna answer that today, right?
Yes. Hello, hello, Aryan, watching from Windsor, Ontario. Awesome, awesome.
And some of these things are kind of basic, but it's so important to understand. And if you're watching this and you're already a business owner in our community, I want you to analyze your business, analyze your teams, if this is one of those things that you are experiencing. So here's number one.
Yes. Number one is this is one of first reason is too much learning, not enough doing.
Yeah.
Yes, especially in this online business, we are so lucky, so blessed that we have this comprehensive step by step training. It's actually a lot. If you love training, if you love knowledge, you will have a lot in here when you work with us. There's so many knowledge. The only thing that's stopping and like hindering people from getting success or getting results is inaction, not enough doing. Like sometimes, especially if you are someone that's perfectionist, you want to have everything first, like you want to learn everything before you take action. I think that's why a lot of people are not getting the results.
Yeah, and it's so important because this is not school. This
Mm-hmm.
is online business. You're launching a business. So it is really the doing part is what gets you the result, not the learning, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like if I compare it to school, you can have an incredible diploma or degree, but if you don't apply to go to get a job and then work and apply that knowledge, then you will never earn. Same thing here, right? The faster you can apply, so the 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 philosophy is, if you want to do a lot more doing, is one piece of learning, you should have two steps of action, right? One learning to action, right? And one learning to action, that's the best way to get to get unstuck from this learning mode, but going to the results mode, right? Eventually earning mode, right? But in the beginning, it's about not just learning, it's getting the results from what you're learning. So number one is too much learning, not enough doing.
Yes, and it's better to have like imperfect actions rather than perfect intentions. You know what I mean? Because if you just have perfect plans, perfect intentions, but you're not launching it, not launching the actions because you're scared to make mistakes, then that will make you stay stuck in this business.
Yeah, and this is the biggest thing. Number one is the biggest thing because you can get lost in the plethora of incredible knowledge, especially if you're new to this thing. You're so amazed, mesmerized, blown away, go into all the trainings. Awesome, right? But the question is, you have to ask yourself, if you're spending 2 hours in your business, right, every single day, because that's the only time you have time to spend, right? You have to ask and audit yourself, how much time did I apply in those 2 hours doing, not just sitting and learning? You're not watching TV here, right? You're not watching people in the thing in the videos. Your goal is to apply it, right? You're a practitioner, right? That's the key, right?
So if you have 2 hours only every single day for the business, Monday to Friday, and then maybe on the weekend, you have 5 hours, that's perfect. But maybe out of those 2 hours, 30 minutes of learning, and then an hour and a half of action.
That's a good ratio right there. So audit your business. If you're going through this and you said, how come I'm stuck? Maybe this is why, right? Second one that we saw in the 7 years is, and really where the rubber meets the road when it comes to the online business, because everything is basically proven system. It's kind of like, buying a McDonald's franchise, right? You basically have, access to proven funnels that we know it's going to convert. You have access to proven emails, right? You have access to websites that we've already pre-done for you. Everything's, you get to use all of that because it's already tested and proven. But where the rubber meets the road is where you separate yourself is your advertising, right? And we teach how to do that, how to advertise in Facebook ads, YouTube ads. And the biggest mistake, right, why people get stuck is they take too long, right, to start advertising, right? And if you compare this an equivalent to the offline world, let's say you open a store, you open your store, but you don't really invite people to come to your to your store, or maybe even like your hours are so inconsistent, right? You open today, close tomorrow, right? People are just afraid to spend advertising budget that makes it's in direct proportion to the revenue of your business, right? We've seen this over and over, and that's the thing, right?
Yeah, and also like you have to think that this is a real business that requires capital for your, not just for your products or not just for your inventory. Let's say like if you have the online business, but also your marketing, right? So I always say with our mentees is that treat the ads as your rent, right? If you have a physical store, think about that. You have to rent a space, let's say in a mall, right? How much would that be, right? So let's say the rent for that space is $1,000, right? Then that's your budget for the rent, right? So just same in this business, it's you decide how much would that be, right? But a lot of people stay stuck in their business because they are scared to invest in their own business, which is in their own marketing and their own ads, right?
And again, I always talk about this, the biggest problem of any business, if you really think about it, why people any business, I don't care what business it is the lack of customers, right? Even if you're the best, most charismatic, let's say realtor, mortgage broker, right? That's your business. If you don't have customers, right, you're gonna struggle, and maybe you're gonna be out of business, right? E-commerce store, whatever it is, right? If you don't have customers, you won't have income or revenue. But that's directly tied to your advertising, how many prospects or leads you have, right? So if you take too long, right, because you're afraid of spending ads, then obviously your results won't be there. So second biggest mistake, people are thinking that they're spending money, but they're not getting results, instead of using it in the beginning to learn the skills and eventually be the number one reason why they generate revenue in this business. And for us doing this 7 years now, we have always advertised. There was not a day that we have not advertised, and this is the reason why we were able to quit our jobs, because we have enough business partners and customers came in through our advertising, right? We did not reach out to friends and family. We did not.
We don't have a big network.
Yeah.
Right. We're not cold prospecting, or we're not reaching out to friends and families, right? So
99%, I would say, of our business partners come from from advertising. All right, so the last one, also very very important, is that number 3. It says not immersed in the community, right? And immersed, really really important, because the reality is, not just our business, any business, it's not easy, right? Because you're becoming an entrepreneur, it's results based, right? You have to produce, right? This is not a job where 15:30, you're gonna get paid. Like it's guaranteed, even if you do no work or less work. Here you have to actually, your work has to be good enough to produce, right? So why is it important to get plugged in? So that you can be recharged, right? What I mean by that is that we're so blessed. We have an online community, because there are people, when you go to our masterminds, for example, right, you get inspired that people just like you, maybe have 3 kids, and you have a hard time managing your time, was able to succeed, and you are now inspired. It's kind of like a cell phone, right? You get discharged, you try to launch a business, nothing is working, but then when you go to the community masterminds, now you're charged up again, and you're ready to go on again. So it's not immersed, right? And not just that, in your Zooms, if you have a team Zooms, right? But more importantly for us, what immersion really means is to go to live events, if there are live events, meetups, right, within our community. Why? Because the key is belief sometimes, right? Because when you hear it, it's one thing, but when you actually meet people, touch them, the people that you look up to, right, on the online space, you get fired up, right? They call it get close to the campfire, because when you're close to the campfire, you're gonna feel the heat, right?
Yes, and that's why we're a believer of meetups or get together, right? So if there is in the online business community, of course, masterminds, we have actually mastermind coming up at today, so make sure you are plugged into our weekly masterminds. But we're believer of live events, right? So if there is another way that could help you get unstuck from your business massively, is to attend a live event, right? And speaking of that, right, we actually are hosting a leadership retreat for all the business owners, online business owners in our community. So I'm not sure if you are aware of that, but you are invited, and we have the information here. It is coming up.
The best of the best in our online community is going to be there. We're going to show you quickly here. It's called Rise to Acceleration. And if you look at this, the lineup of speakers that are going to be there, immersed with you for 3 days in an all-inclusive resort in Punta Cana. It's not only a vacation, it's an immersion, right? And when you sit down with these people and understand how they think, you're so close to the campfire that when your mind is stretched, you will never be the same again, right? For example, Joy Lenting, right? She is one of our mentees in our community. She is boss free. She used to work in a jewelry store, and how long? I think
just 2 jobs.
She used to have 2 jobs, and now she's doing this full time, right? Eden Olave used to be a caregiver, now full time. Was living in Canada, US, now in the Philippines.
With her kids and her husband.
And we can go on and on. Katrina, she was one of our very first mentees that saw our ads in 2019. In less than 2 years, she quit her job as an admin assistant. Whatever she makes in a year, in most months, she makes it in 1 month, right? That's how mind-blowing it is. Karen and Chris used to be a firefighter, and Karen used to be a teacher, also fired their bosses. Franco, 3 jobs, right? Now full-time online business owner. So we are just so excited for this retreat, because when you're there, when your mind is stretched, it can never be the same again. I remember the first time we went to our event in Vancouver, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we
that was in 2020. February 2020 or March of 2020, and it's the first time meeting them. And we went to this penthouse, and I was just like blown away with the amount of income that they're making every single month. I asked them how much they're making, and like it really like what is it, changed my mindset, like really like leveled up my mindset, because at that particular time we were making a certain income as well monthly. And when we asked them, they're just normal everyday people. They're not even, they're immigrants like us. They're not speaking English well as well, right? We have accents and everything, but they're actually like making, six figures monthly. And like I was like, wow, like if these people can do it, certainly we can do it as well. And that give us
That was in
belief.
2020,
That
I
was
believe.
in 2020. 2020.
Yeah.
Yes, and the rest is history.
And whatever that we used to make are now we're now making what they made. So it's really, when you go close to the fire, you're on fire, and you can't, you don't need to, I always say, you don't need to play anymore. So again, 3 days, you're stuck with the best of the best in the
Yeah,
community.
that will
And-
be March 2022
and if you're watching this and you're in the community, before it was supposed to be
in our
for-
team only.
in our team only, and a certain income and level in the business, but now it's open to everyone. Even if you're brand new, right? You want to hang out with us, you want to learn from us, you want to be immersed in the community, you want to be fired up, right? Scan the QR code, right? There's still tickets left, right? Scan it, choose one, and just reach out to us if you have any questions. Just private message us. We'll tell you the details. But we're excited. We're fired up for this. We're ready.
Yes.
It's gonna be amazing.
Awesome. Yes. Hello. From South Africa. Hello, Tankiso. From Niagara Falls. Wow. Hello, Mickey. Gretchen from Seattle, Washington. We have Janet. Hello, Ranjit. Thanks for sharing as well. Raksha, watching live from Hong Kong.
By the way, there's actually a promotion going on. We're doing there's about a month and a half left. If you want to know the details of that promotion for that event, just drop the number 1 in the chat and we'll reach out to you. We'll give you the details on how there's a chance you can get your tickets for free, right? So if you want to know the details on how to get your tickets for free, actually just comment tickets, and we'll reach out to you, give you the details of that promotion. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We're excited. That is another episode of Argola.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you, guys. God bless you. Bye.